on this circuit. Gregory Snape, all the way from Deniliquin in the black and gold Cooper BMW, originally built by Jim Madsen back in the 50s. This car should be also well suited to Wakefield Park, although perhaps lacking the absolute straight line grunt of the cars further forward on the grid. Also an impressive time yesterday was run by Bob Larkin in number 71, the green Crowfoot Holden Special, Arthur Rizzo twin tube chassis with a full house Holden engine. It's a very pretty and effective motor car that Bob's been racing for some time.
Yeah, car 42 is the Decca Major, and Mike Gunnell will be driving that, and that was a car built by Derek Jolly originally in South Australia. Car 9, the Anderson Holden, that was the first Holden Special ever in New South Wales, a very, very early attempt at Holden Specials, and a car that is quite a handful to drive, John. I think your brother will attest. And
yes, I remember my brother drove it some time ago, as you did, John, and always has been a little bit of a handful. Flags up in a very strong breeze. Ross Hodgson has jumped the start, rolled across the line, but leads the field away, with Gregory Snape doing a terrific job to come from further back in the grid to occupy third place as the cars head into the hairpin at the end of the straight. So it's Hotto in the Cooper MG in front, and Peter Moore in the Nedlow second, Gregory Snape third, Ian McDonald fourth, John Scott, Brendan Samuels, David Clean in the Anderson Holden, Michael Gunnell doing a terrific job in the Decca Major, and the very quick Kenny Rose TC tailing that particular group up the hill ahead of Rob Bates in the Nota Majors. Place changes already up the top as John Scott goes wide and Brendan Samuels slips the sim car very tidily through on the inside and then shuts the gate as they come down the hill. John Scott's having none of that, and the two cars are side by side round the right-hander. This is heart-in-mouth stuff, ladies and gents, as they side by side it round the left-hander as well. And what do we do when we get to the narrow zigging and zagging bit here at the bottom? But it's John Scott that hangs onto it and takes the wide line round the bottom of the course here to grab that position back again that was bravely taken off him at the top of the hill by Brendan Samuels. Ian McDonald's asking the question of Gregory Snape as they come onto the straight. The Cooper Holden hammering away at the back of the Cooper BMW, and the straight line grunt of the Cooper Holden will probably run the little BMW powered car down as they hit the straight line.
Just watch the way the Nedlow negotiates that tight corner at the bottom of the straight. He absolutely flings that car around there and sits dead flat.
Yeah, it's like a motorised roller skate, isn't it? The Cooper MG understeers its way into there, and it's the understeer is quite painful actually, whereas the Nedlow is like a motorised roller skate, and Peter sort of flicks it and catches and flicks it and catches it, and goes through in a sort of a series of oversteering actions, both of them very effective.
I'd also like to welcome back Roger Eland in the Waftam, the Buchanan Holden. Running there in midfield, having his first drive in Australia for probably about 7 or 8 years, I would say, John.
Yes, indeed, and Roger's now, I understand, the Earl of Waftam is now a permanent resident of Australia, and the Waftam I've got rather mixed memories of, trying to race it one year at Winton, and things just kept breaking. But Frank Cattell and Owen Williams and I had a lot of fun with that car, and I hope Roger's having the same. The Pratt Holden, John Hall, had an off-road excursion on the way up the hill, and so has dropped back many places. And the aforementioned Roger Eland has done very well to dive inside Mike Gunnell on the way up towards Polo Corner, as Ross Hodgson completes lap 2, steadily ahead of Peter Moore. And here we have the understeering Cooper MG and the flicky oversteering Nedlow in the first 2 places. Ian McDonald not only having asked the question of Gregory Snape, now having a bit of a look at the 2 leaders at this stage. Brendan Samuels pretty strongly in that next position, and it's Roger Eland who does very well indeed to duck inside David Glean as they head down to the corner at the end of the straight, and Rob Bates, Bob Larkin and Kenny Rowe having a terrific time together also. Cameron McMillan on a lonely run, as is Ian Brock all the way from South Australia in his pretty little Elfin Streamliner. Percy Hunter well back, John Hall making his way past Alan Morton's Alba Triumph 500 engine, 650cc engine vehicle, and the Bondley, all the way from Western Australia, at the back of that little group, then followed by Jeff Norville's MGTC and Paul Hunter's Lazos.
Yes, the Bondley running on some old, the very first Cinceratos, which must date back to the 1960s, and the car's only been running in regularities in West Australia, and yesterday Roger was saying, he said, I think the tyres are a little deficient.
And the car to look at, I think, at this stage is probably Roger Eland in the Waftam Buchanan Holden, because he's come from about 4 positions further back as Michael Gunnell pulls off and retires. He's come from about 4 positions further back and has steadily mown cars down. He's now got, amazingly enough, Brendan Samuel's little Simca Special in his sights, and the bigger engine Holden looks like it's about to mow the Simca down, and sure enough, as they pass us across the start-finish line, it's Roger Eland up a place into 5th position at this stage, and braking and driving very hard with lots of zigging and zagging under brakes, and the car comfortably sideways here, there and everywhere. Let's see if he can keep it on the island as he's harassed steadily up the hill by Brendan Samuels in the little blue Simca Special.
Roger, David Seath also visiting us here from Bendigo, I think. Bendigo, Ballarat. Somewhere mid-Victoria. In his special.
Our leaders return, well spaced, but as I say, perhaps the car driver combination to watch at this stage is Roger Eland, who's the one making the forward progress and actually driving quite hard.
Oh, we've lost the Anderson Holden.
And the Anderson Holden demonstrating pretty clearly that it doesn't have a locked diff as it spins its wheels on the grass, having ventured into the greenery, or is it the brownery, down here at the bottom of the hill at the chicane.
Robinson in the sharp Holden holding off the 2 streamliners, sitting right on his tail as they head down towards the main straight, and this is developing to a good dice as well as Kenny Rowe gets passed by the Crowfoot Holden.
And a car we haven't mentioned during this event at this stage, but we'll mention it now, is the Sydney Vincent of Cameron McMillan, which has just retired at the chicane as Cameron walks away off with the gloves and the hat, and the Vincent has expired. One of the other motorcycle engine cars this weekend is Alan Morton's Alba Triumph, and it has suddenly slowed also. Motorcycle engine cars, of course, are often known as the running, jumping and standing still, because that's what the pit crew does all the time with these things. They're not really renowned for their reliability, and it looks like Al Morton's 650 Triumph engine Alba is about to suffer the old unreliability disease as leader Ross Hodgson rockets past him across the start-finish line. And Ian McDonald closes in steadily on the tail of the Nedlow.
Kenny Rowe's looking fairly busy through the chicane at the moment, holding off 2 Holden engine specials. Ken has been driving this car for about 40 years now, I think.
Yes, this is the old high-grade service station car from the early 60s. And would be familiar to many people here today as a car that ran very well indeed at places like Katoomba, Oran Park and Bathurst back then under the high-grade service station banner. Ken drives it now, and he drove it then. Well, Jeff Norville's shot aside by Peter Moore as he scrambles through the chicane and shoves the Jeff Norville TC sideways as Pete has become the hunted in the Ian McDonald scheme of things.
Last lap board is up, so it's all going to happen on this lap. And down the straight comes Hotto and Peter Moore
and Ian McDonald.
And they're all lapping slower cars. Oh no, that was
and
finished.
Indeed, Ian McDonald's got up. Ian McDonald got up for second place as the Nedlow went just a little off song. So officially across the lines, Ross Hodgson, Cooper MG, Ian McDonald from Victoria in the Repco Holden Special. Third place, Peter Moore. Nedlow Fourth place is John Scott on number 137, the Milano MG. And Roger Eland, who's done a very good job in number 61, waving grandly and appropriately as the Earl of Waftham as he crosses the line for the next position, then Brendan Samuel's Blue Simca Special.
Well, another great race, and the next event will be event 6, the Group O&Q Sports and Racing Cars and Clubman, and John Moon will present that to us in just a few minutes, but a few friendly words from the sponsors.
It's now coming up to 27 minutes past 10 at your Special Events Radio 107.9 FM here at Wakefield Park. Also, don't forget the shuttle bus, folks. The shuttle bus going from the top spectator area down to the dummy grid and down to the areas down here. By all means, use it. It's there for you to be used this morning.